Welcome to the final video in the Disco series. If you've been following this series, you've already built a solid foundation in this style, and this song is going to test everything we've learned and more. We'll begin by breaking down the chorus groove. This part sounds silky smooth, but it is not easy. Then we'll break down the verse, and this will be our link to the next series of videos. Let's get started. First, the chorus. There is a lot going on here. Not only do we have a ton of interplay between the bass and snare, but we also have to coordinate the open hi-hat along with all of this. First, let's strip this down to the most basic version. We're going to remove all of the extra snare notes, the open hi-hats, and just focus on the basic eighth note connections. Once we've established that, let's add the open hi-hat. This establishes the skeleton of the groove. Everything else we do will just be adding on top of this. So, take as much time as you need here to develop comfort and control of these connections. Once we've got our basic groove, the next step is to start filling it out. I recommend adding the snare skips and the extra bass drum notes in the second bar. And again, we'll do this first with a closed hi-hat. And again, once we've got that down, the next step is to add in the open hi-hat. You may need to isolate some parts of this. For example, beat 3 in the second bar gets pretty tricky. If you're having trouble here, try isolating the double kick with the open hi-hat first. Once you've got the feel of that, try putting it back into the full beat. The final step is to add those snare doubles, as well as the extra tom notes in the second bar. This takes us back to the full groove. And again, if you have trouble with the snare doubles, try isolating them first. Once you've got the feeling there, we just have to put it all together and let it flow. Before we move on, let's talk about modifications for the chorus. This part is not easy, and there is no shame in simplifying it if you need to. We need to keep the open hi-hats because this is the key element of the groove. So what options does that leave us with? Well, that really depends on what you are comfortable with. You could strip down everything like we did at first. This is still a viable groove for this section. If you're comfortable adding more, throw in some of the extra snare hits. It's really up to you. But don't feel bad if you need to simplify this part in order to play it cleanly. As we always say, first, make it playable and allow yourself to grow from there. Moving on to the verse, the key here is staying relaxed with the right hand, especially with those offbeat bass drum hits. Of course, our right hand needs some fairly solid speed and endurance to make it through this section in the first place. We also need to be able to coordinate our bass drum hits with all of the possible 16-note timings. And you know what that means. It's time for the
grid.
First, let's establish our system for this grid. In this case, we've got a steady 16th note pattern in the right hand and a standard backbeat on the snare. Once we've got that down, it's time to grid our kicks. You may need to isolate the open hi-hat with kick, especially if this is new for you. Be sure you have a solid physical feel for this. Develop it in isolation first, and then apply it to the full groove. Once you're comfortable with each individual kick placement and the open hi-hat, the final step is to apply all of this to the full groove. And remember to stay relaxed here. Don't allow the feet to cause tension in the right hand.
And you don't seem to understand. A shame you seemed an honest man. And all the fears you hold so dear will turn to whisper.
Grids are one of the most powerful tools we have to develop coordination and control. If you're unfamiliar with this concept, or you just want to dive deeper into it, be sure to check out the full video on the grid system, link in the description. And finally, let's talk about modifications for the verse. Mainly, if your right hand doesn't yet have the speed or endurance to keep up that 16th note pattern, we can play this with alternating sticking. However, this will change the overall coordination and feel of the groove, especially when coordinating that left hand with the kick.
And you don't seem to understand. A shame you seemed an honest man. And all the fears you hold.
So if you choose this option, just be aware that you may need to develop some additional coordination for these connections. And you can use the same grid concept that we used before, now with alternating sticking instead. And that about wraps things up for this song. Or does it? You may have noticed that I left out a small detail in the verse. Throughout this part, we hear some short 32nd note patterns on the hi-hat.
And you don't seem to understand. A shame you seemed an honest man. And all the fears you hold so dear will turn to whisper in your ear. And you know what to say when I have you.
This makes the hi-hat part much more intricate and interesting. And this is going to be our connection to the next series of videos on trap and hip hop. The connection is a bit flimsy, I know, but a key element of trap and modern hip hop are the intricate hi-hat patterns, and that's the connection that I'm drawing here. I've got some fun and interesting songs lined up for this next series, and I guarantee you won't be able to guess all of them. But please, go ahead and comment your guesses, as well as your suggestions for any songs that have trap or hip hop elements in them. And as always, if you have any questions, please leave a comment and I'll do my best to respond. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. If you want to keep working on this song, Patreon is where all of the learning resources for this channel live. You can join the community and download the TV-size sheet music for free there. The link is on screen and in the description. Thanks again for watching, and now, the outtakes. Bit of a flam there. Well, moving on. But please, go ahead and comment your guesses as well as your suggestions for any songs that have trop, and hip hap. Hap hap.